Hello, welcome to our first ever live show today. I'm Manuel, I hope that you know I'm Manuel,
The man.
the man. Okay, and right beside me is Dennis. Today we are doing our very first live show, and the topic we chose for our very first live show, Dennis, will be actually to talk about Pasir Ris 8.
Right. So for those, this is a live show, as Manny mentioned. For those who came to support us, thank you, a big thank you.
Yes.
And for those who are watching the live replay, a big thank you to you as well. Right.
Yes. Thank you so much for tuning into our live show, because I know that on Friday night, 9 p.m., most of you probably have a lot of things to do, or I can say maybe better things to do than to watch a live show. But thank you so much for your support. I hope that at the very least you come away with watching this show with some entertainment and some knowledge as well. Okay.
Right.
So what exactly is Pasir Ris 8, Danny? So Pasir Ris 8 is actually this truly integrated development. Okay, this piece of land, as you can see over there, is right next to Pasir Ris MRT station. And by integrated, we really mean integrated, Dennis, because not only does it have a residential component, there's a transport hub. Right,
it's actually the heart of the whole Pasir Ris.
Yes, correct.
But in order not to bore the audience, we shall not go into details. We'll go through briefly, but the gist will be at the end of the top 5 questions itself. Right?
That is correct. Yes. So to put it simply, everything you need is right over there.
Right.
Okay. And as you can see from some of the perspectives that we have over here, even the lowest unit, I would say the lowest floor unit here at Pasir Ris 8 is actually above.
This is the perspective of the whole project itself.
Yes.
And because I think a lot of buyers will worry that, hey, is it too near MRT for the noise itself?
That is
so
correct.
This picture actually shows that, right? Actually, the residential portion starts from the 4th floor. The 3rd floor is the car park. But we'll go into details for this.
Yes.
But later.
We'll go into details.
So this is actually the perspective for this Pasir Ris 8.
That is correct. Yes. Now, as you can see from this slide over here,
unit mix.
The unit mix, 487 units in total. Most of them, as you can tell, are your 2 bedrooms. So very lots of choices for investors. And for the 4 bedrooms, only 30 units, Dennis, which means if you happen to get a 4 bedroom here, you are very fortunate indeed. Yeah, right. Only 30 units in total. Okay, so this is a breakdown of what's going to make up this development.
This is a breakdown, a summary of the total building. It might look a bit too confusing.
Yes.
But okay, let's stick to my guide. Okay, from basically basement 2 to the 2nd story, all these are retail. I repeat, from basement 1, 2, all the way to 2nd story, they've got retail components. And the 3rd story is totally a residential car park.
That's correct.
Right, that means your residential component starts from the 4th floor onwards.
And something that I do not see often, then, is a polyclinic as part of the integrated development. Now, this is sure to be a added bonus, especially to the people of Pasir Ris, because now they have the polyclinic right next to the MRT station, and also the residents have much easier access.
For some buyers, right, they are confused between what's an integrated, what is a mixed development. So simply put, right, integrated has a lot of design component which usually incorporate the transport like MRT or the bus as well, bus industry itself. Yeah.
That is actually one of the questions that people want us to answer, which we can answer that later on.
Oh, by the way, we saw a lot of friends who say hello. Keith Lim, Augustine Tan, Clement Tan, and NU.
Hi,
Thanks
Keith.
For supporting.
Hi, Anne. Thanks for the support, Anne.
Live show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anne.
Right.
Okay. Now, over here, what we have is the basement one, the end of.
This is the basement one. It's actually a quite boring piece of design. But why I show you this, right? Because it incorporates a bicycle lift. There's actually a lot of bicycle lots for them, and you got a lift for the bicycle lots. Because Pasir Ris is going to be the future bicycle town as well.
Yes, that's correct. And as you can see from this level one floor plan, this shows us the vehicular ingress and egress, which for the layman, it actually means how the vehicle is going to enter and exit the property. So you can tell that each vehicle will kind of in their own way have their own lanes or own entrances. So for people who are worried about congestions over here, need not worry that much actually.
Right. Yeah. So this is actually for level 1 is a big component given to this integrated bus interchange.
That is correct. Yes. So for the cars, they will have their own.
This is level 2.
Yes, that's where you will see the polyclinic, where it is located actually.
I think for this piece of land, right, government, because when they opened up the bid, one of the actually it was a dual envelope bid, meaning that when the developer bids for this land, they're supposed to submit a plan first. They're not fighting just purely on price. So those who pass the criteria for the design concept, then they go to the price bid itself. That means, right, the government is also very concerned that, hey, this piece of land is going to be integrated. There has to be a good design component for you to come in so that you bring maximum confidence to the Pasir Ris residents itself. I mean, I can imagine, wow, you got a polyclinic, a very big component on the second story. You got a bus stop, you got MRT, and you got a future Pasir Ris, this cross island line itself. And you are very near to the beach. Of course, I think some might think, oh, Pasir Ris is very ulu. Yeah, I mean, for those who are not familiar with the east side, yes, but for those who are familiar with the east side, and you are near to the beach, but Pasir Ris Beach actually is quite nice. Yeah, so it depends on where you stay, or are you familiar with the area itself.
In fact, for myself, I happen to be a West Sider, staying at Jurong East. But for this project, I have been going to Pasir Ris recently. So in a way, Dennis, I come to fall in love with this area actually. It's a very quaint, little, nice area, very relaxing. Actually, a little bit different from the other estates in Singapore.
Right.
You have to go there to experience. So what we have here are the top buyer questions.
Yeah, because we don't want to go into point of the details. Because I'm sure by the time now, the show flat is going to open on the 10th of July itself. So I think a lot of people are probably doing a lot of other agents are doing a lot of review on the floor plan, everything. So, but we choose to focus on maybe the top buyer questions and maybe show you the highlight itself.
Correct. Because what me and Dennis feel personally is that if you want facts and details, everyone can find it. It's all available online. But to answer your questions, now that's something that not a lot of people are doing at the moment, right, Dennis? So for the very first question we have is, what's the entry price and the exit plan? Okay, which is, I think, doesn't apply just to Pasir Ris, it applies to a lot of projects actually, Dennis. So for the entry price, Dennis, what can we look to expect actually?
All right. Okay. For this entry price, right? I think first of all, this is actually the Pasir Ris master plan itself. If you notice, I put a red circle over this part where I got Pasir Ris mixed use development. So what I'm trying to say is that this Pasir Ris mixed development, this piece of land, is one of the key integral part of this Pasir Ris master plan. So this is the first one to go. This is the center. Once the center is there, right? The rest will come. For example, there'll be more HDB towns. There will be this Pasir Ris waterfront park. This is upgrade as well as this cross island line. So actually, this is the first priority for this master plan itself. So once this goes, the rest will follow itself.
Yes, the cross island line is a very welcome addition as well, because it's not people used to think that Pasir Ris is just the east-west line, but no, right now it's 2 lines.
So for this, for the entry price, right, let's go back to the basics, the land cost. So for this piece of land, right, it was warned at 684 per square foot based on the total GFA itself. But this cost, I personally felt that it might be a bit on the low side. Because what happened was that you use the total amount of bid divided by the GFA, the gross floor area. But what happened was that this is an integrated development.
Yes.
The government has got to the developer, when they own the land, right, they're obligated to build the other side interchange, bus interchange, the MRT, as well as a polyclinic area for them.
That's correct.
So there will be a lot of areas dedicated to so-called public use.
That's correct.
Yeah. So in actual fact, the PSM might be slightly higher. In the range, my estimate is about 800 plus per square foot. Yeah, but this is the base. If you use purely total price over the land, the GFA, this is 684 per square foot.
Yes, because how this 684 is derived, like what Dennis has mentioned, is basically to include all the gross floor area,
right?
Even for the non-residential component.
Right. So you look at the whole thing, right? I always like to joke with my clients or customers. When you see a lot of grassland, 草地, GRASS grassland, that means, right, you can either interpret as ulu, or you can see that there are a lot of lands to be sold in future, and you are the first mover advantage.
That's
so
correct.
Depending on perspective. So look at this map, right? There are a lot of empty plots of land around this Pasir Ris 8 area itself. So what this means, right, as the time passes by, land will be sold at higher price. With inflation, with a higher construction cost, this will only be sold higher itself.
Yes.
And there will also be new HDB town over there. So likely when and these are the likely sea facing HDB, very rare in Singapore as well.
That's correct. Yes. But unlike the other future developments that become, Dennis, there is only one integrated development over there, and that will be Pasir Ris 8 in this case.
Right. And just to touch on a point, right? Some ask about this total GFA for residential. It's about 42,000. And the retail itself is about 34,900. So it's actually quite a lot of retail component from the basement 1 to all the way to the second floor. So actually you have the max convenience itself. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Wow, can you imagine how convenient?
Wow, this is a screen. Maybe Daniel will touch on this.
Yes,
very
correct.
Technical.
So this screen, right, is what we have put up actually for a nearby development known as Cocoa Palms.
Right.
Okay. So as you can see over here, right, there is a about an increase of 5.29% per year.
Cocoa Palms, for information, at TOP in 2018. And it's very near to this Pasir Ris MRT.
That's correct, yes. It's one of the closest in comparison project to Pasir Ris 8. And as you can see from the chart over here, not to bore you with the technical details, right? To put it very simply, people who have bought it at launch price have made money upon TOP.
Right.
Immediately upon TOP, they have made money already. Which means to say that the old saying of you buy when it's first launched, you can make money. It's true, it holds true. Even for Pasir Ris. As you can see over here.
I think this strategy is for those people who have a home to stay and you're not in need of a home. So you can buy and within 3 years, that's okay. By law, the seller stamp duty sets in only if you buy today and after 3 years you sell away, there's no seller stamp duty. They call it SSD itself.
Yes.
So if you're those lucky few who don't need a house to stay, likely you have your own house or staying with your family, you buy from day one price where there's early bird discount, and you sell at TOP, likely 3 to 4 years. For these Cocoa Palms, they were sold at 4 years from the day of TOP itself. So the annual return is about 5.29%. These are the stats itself. Maybe I'll show you some details to break down the top few transactions itself.
Sure. Now, what we have done is we have highlighted two things: when it was sold and when it was bought on. Okay.
This is still based on Cocoa Palms. There's as I did update the data, there's a total up to 128 transactions. And
profitable transactions.
Yes. Okay, so this is the first page, the top page, where I show all the transaction. So it ranges from the low 4.3% annualized return to 7.2%. Right. So 7.2 is a bit of outlier. So it actually depends, but on average, as from the earlier side, it's about 5% plus itself. Right?
And one of the figures I believe the audience will like to draw their attention to, Dennis, will be the one called profit. Okay, as you can see from the profit column, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but it's three rows from the left actually, from the right actually, 3 rows from the right. Most of them are in the 6-figure range. Yeah, I think it should be quite positive news, huh?
So this is the page 1 for Cocoa Palms as a reference. So let's show you the bottom page to be fair.
Sure. Okay. Now for the bottom page, still not too bad. Actually, still profit, but just that maybe the annualized percentage have kind of decreased.
For this bottom page, right, the annualized return is between the low 1.3 to 2.8%. This is the bottom page itself. So you notice that, right? Actually, because this is one key good example of like for those who are doing purely for investment. That means you're buying without intention to stay. You just want to buy and then sell later for a profit. So the ideal range is to buy and sell upon TOP. So if you notice at this bottom page, right, those who are making 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 or below 2, right, likely is that they hold for a longer period. If you look at the last 3 bottom itself, they bought in 2014, right, and they sold in 2020 or 2021. So as a general guide, right, for those people who sold upon TOP, the return actually is highest.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
So that's why this is a strategy for those I got readers, investors. They just buy and sell, because they have their own place to stay, and when they buy this and sell off, they can, after they sell this condo after TOP, you'll move on to buy a second new launch. Always buy from day one launch. You enjoy the best price.
That is correct. Yes, that is correct. Any unprofitable transaction, Dennis?
So far, right, if you look at the screen, right, there's no profitable transaction itself. Yeah. From this statement I check out, there's a 0.
Oh, that's very good. Is there a question for us, Dennis?
I think I see there are few questions. So some new friends from here: Anthony Sam, Daniel Wong, Wei Huang, and Anne. Hello.
Hi guys.
So for guys, if you have any questions, right, feel free to text us your questions.
Yes.
We will try our best to answer at the end of the top few questions that we prepared.
So, feel free to ask us anything at any time you like.
Thanks for supporting our first show. Thanks for support.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay.
Question number 2. Buy Pasir Ris can make money?
I'm sure for West Side people like me, we may be a bit skeptical about buying into Pasir Ris. So let's answer this question properly, Dennis.
To be honest, right, if you stay the West, from my ground experience, you stay in the West and you are not familiar with the East side, right?
Yes.
No point telling too much. Because in the afternoon, I got this client who also called me and said, "Hey, Dennis, I'll give up not to view Pasir Ris." Because his last visit was about 5 to 6 years back, and that was at the White Sands. He has not visited Pasir Ris for a long time already.
Okay.
Because he's not very familiar with the area. So it's literally, if you're not familiar, it's very hard for us to ring a bell to tell you what's happening over there. So it doesn't matter, because we'll still talk about this Pasir Ris.
Sure. Okay, no problem. Right. Okay. So why buy Pasir Ris? Okay, now first of all, you have to understand that Pasir Ris has a lot of changes going on as well, unbeknownst to a lot of people who do not stay over there. First of all, Pasir Ris MRT will be an interchange for the upcoming Cross Island line.
And
Okay,
it's correct, right?
yeah. And also, as I'm sure most of you have known, Changi will have their 5th terminal coming up. And with that comes the transformation of the east side in total.
Notice that this is the master plan for Changi.
Yes.
And notice that in the middle, right, is also the Jewel Changi Airport, which has been built already.
Yes.
So normally for master plan, most of the things centered around the center. So Pasir Ris 8 is the center of this Pasir Ris master plan. Whereas this Jewel Changi Airport is the center of the whole Changi itself. So what happened was that because of COVID, a lot of things are delayed, right?
Yes.
But COVID will pass, or rather it will drag here and there. But no matter what, Singapore has to move on. We have to build a super power Terminal 5. Just for your information, Terminal 5 is the size of Terminal 1, 2, 3, 4 add up together. Yeah, because I did a study of the master plan itself. It's quite huge. And after that, there's this coastal park connector, there's this cross island line, there's Changi Point, Changi East. So what happened was that there's going to be a lot of mega developments to renew Singapore in terms of the aviation sector. So what happens is that you notice that if you want to create a big sector over there, you need to pump in the population, so-called put in more population around Changi, Bedok, or even Pasir Ris area, so that you can support the manpower to work this area. So that's why Pasir Ris will have a new town as well. I think it's also partly to support this whole growth. So Pasir Ris being next to this Changi area, there will be a lot of growth story.
Yeah. So all connected in a way, right?
So in terms of Pasir Ris, it's no longer considered Ulu, because right now you have this whole Changi story itself to say.
Sure.
So this is the HDB remaking of Heartland. So you notice that there's going to be a new HDB town, or this HDB area called Housing by the Park itself, and that one likely will have sea view.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
And Changi is going to be renewed with a lot of bicycling, cycling track itself. Yeah. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. What is this about?
So this is one of the things we have touched on earlier, right? That is the Waffle Fat Park, actually located in the Pasir Ris area. So JTC have plans to spruce that up, and then they will be going to have a greenery, covered walkways, and so on, upgrading the environment, the work environment over there.
For those buying for own stay, maybe you might not be bothered by the jobs being created there. But these water fat parks, right? I mean, there are existing water fat parks, but they'll be renewed and upgraded. So in total, right, there are 4 water fat parks in Singapore: the North Coast, Woodlands, Tampines, and Pasir Ris. So for the Pasir Ris, right, they'll be upgraded. So all in all, right, there'll be a total of 14 global semiconductors there, and over they'll create more jobs. So more jobs, meaning that there'll be more tenants for what will be there.
Yes.
When there's more tenant, for those who are buying for investment or for own stay, when there's higher ROI for your TA, tenancy agreement, then it will increase the selling price of the house itself. Yeah. So just once you bring jobs into the area, there'll be more life, there'll be more things.
Yeah. Yes, correct. Which is another reason why people should really consider Pasir Ris 8, Dennis.
Yep. This is another master plan's plot of land.
Oh, this is so exciting, Dennis. So, okay, so maybe I'll just tell the audience what this graph actually means. So as you can see over here, we have 4 plots that we have highlighted: plot 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so as of this moment, these 4 plots are what we call grassland or forested areas. There's nothing over there at the moment. But on the master plan, it has been zoned as residential. And all these 4 plots are not too far from Pasir Ris 8. In fact, if you look at where Pasir Ris 8
is... Notice for the early questions, right, we show you some of the empty plots of land around Pasir Ris.
Yes.
These are the empty plots of land further, but also in the Pasir Ris area.
That's correct, yes.
All the way from the left, right, you see this HDB Coastal Grove, which is a new HDB. Yep. And plot 1, plot 2, plot 3, plot 4, they are so-called subject to detailed planning. Don't know what yet.
Yes.
But likely will be condo, my guess.
Yeah. But the most important question that needs to ask for these 4 plots of land is, will the land cost in the future be higher or lower? Right. I think for most of the audience, if you have been following updates on news on land sales these days, the trend have always been upwards, because land is something that we cannot build, and land is something that is getting scarce. Especially in the supply of these days, unless we reclaim more land, which I do not think so.
Oh, by the way, I saw a question from El Lim. Hi, El Lim.
Hi.
The question is, okay, maybe let me show the questions on the board itself. Okay, what's the PSF for Pasir Ris 8? Yeah.
Okay.
Can you answer this question?
Sure. So as of this moment, El, right? I hope I'm getting your name correct. We do not yet have an official indicative PSF or pricing from the developer All Green, But what we can sense at the moment that it could be maybe in the 1,007 range, 1,007 PSF range.
Yeah, likely I think between 1,600 to 1,700 per square foot.
That's
Because the
correct.
land price, if based on total GFA, is about 680 plus.
Yes.
But because, as I mentioned, that excludes the part that they have to bid for the
That's
government, the polyclinics, everything.
Yeah.
So the land cost should be about 800 plus.
That's correct. Yes.
So you add about $600 to $700 per square foot.
That's correct.
1,500.
Yes.
So what? Yeah.
That's how we derive the 1,006 to 1,007 out, because we take the actual land cost for the residential component only, then we add in your marketing, your financing, your construction, and so on, and you get about 1,006.
Let's take it at 1,600 to 1,700 per square foot. I know when I review this price to a lot of buyers, they say, wow, Pasir Ris so expensive.
Yeah. Wow, Pasir Ris at 1,006. The world has gone crazy, right?
But the fact is that if you check out, because we are on the ground agents, you check out all the new launch in Singapore, right? This is really among one of the cheapest launch in the price itself.
That is correct. Yeah. Yes, because and also not to forget that the market has moved a lot out actually. If you even look at EC, brand new ECs these days, right? It used to be all below 1,000 PSF, and now it's all above 1,000, and nobody blinks an eye anymore.
The time now is to be honest, inflation has reset in. To me, as a property agent, we are also quite shocked that, wow, 1,500. Yeah. No, I remember when I bought my Potong Pasir, next to Potong Pasir MRT. This is called Casa Mayor. That one was I bought 1,000 per square foot in 2008. Then my friends were saying, hey, you sell, you buy 1,000. But now Potong Pasir is about 2,000 plus itself. Yeah. So when even for EC itself, the price range is between 1,001, 1,002.
That's correct. Yeah.
Range. That's for EC executive condo. So executive condo is so-called the basic of the whole condo, because they'll be prioritized after 10 years. So if ECs are starting for 1,000, 1,200 per square foot, the rest have to rise in tandem.
I believe that Potong Pasir project is a freehold project.
Yes, it's a freehold project.
So you just imagine freehold project in 2008 at 1,000. 12 to 13 years later, 1,000 can only get you EC.
I mean, we can't turn back.
We cannot turn back time. Yeah. Right. So take action while we can, right, Dennis?
All right. Okay. If you have any questions, feel free to give us leave in the comments.
Yeah.
We'll do our best.
And thanks for the question. Yep,
thank you. Right. Third question. Next to MRT, is it going to be noisy?
This is a question that I'm sure a lot of people have on their mind, because
this is actually a very interesting question, because I got buyers also asking, hey, I want to be near MRT, yet I don't want to hear the noise. The same thing when you buy, a lot of people who bought East Coast condo, they like the sea view, but especially
in
the Bayshore area, Costa del Sol, Bayshore Parks. Wow, Dennis, this is a very good view, but I don't want to hear the noise expressway. But precisely because it's because of the expressway that's there, so that there's no new buildings blocking your way. That's why you got a sea view. So sometimes you have to decide what you want. But nevertheless, we will explain to you whether how to explain this question itself.
So to answer this question, let's look at let's start from the basics. Where exactly is the project located?
Right.
So as you can see from the perspective that we have over here, the lowest floor for the residential units is actually above Pasir Ris MRT, which basically means that because we are not below the MRT station, the noise impact will not be as much as what people think. Furthermore, if you look at the distance between the blocks and the MRT station, it's still quite a considerable distance as well.
Yeah, this is perspective from the developer itself.
Yes.
So level 3 will be car park. Level 4 will be the starting of this residential.
That's correct. Yes.
Common areas like clubhouse. So at least level 4 will clear the MRT from this perspective.
That's correct. Right? Yes.
Okay, for those who are still this is a second picture.
Like a close-up look of it actually. So you can see that there's actually a lot of buffer in between for most of the blocks, between the residential blocks and then the MRT station.
So this is a site plan for the Pasir Ris 8.
That's correct.
Okay, so from this zone, right, notice that, maybe I retreat back to the slide.
Sure.
For the area with the swimming pool, the developer has called it the creative zone. That means there's a fun, active play here. So that part is about 100 meters away from MRT. So this is really a buffer.
Yes.
The green zone, they call it the retreat zone. The green zone are also where the areas will be where all the blocks are.
Yes, correct.
So at least number one, you clear the level 4 will clear the MRT level, and number 2, there's a buffer zone of this. They call it creative zone. That's about 100 meters. And number 3, for those who are still concerned with noise, you can look at this site plan. There are different phasing. So if for those like sleepers who are really concerned about the noise and you like this Pasir Ris 8, you can choose those that not facing MRT.
That's
This
correct.
is the best we can do for you.
That's correct, yes. And if you look at it, look at the site plan in detail, right? Technically speaking, no units directly face the MRT actually. They're all like looking at the left or looking at the right. And furthermore, I believe with the lowest floor units being above the MRT station, and with that, you mentioned 100 meters, Dennis, or something like that. 100 meters buffer between the blocks and the MRT station. I think noise should not be that much of a concern.
Also, I want to address one question, because a lot of people, I have a lot of investors who are buying for investment. That means purely with the intention to buy and sell at the right time, so they don't intend to stay there. So if this is their objective, right? Sometimes, to be honest, the noise might not be an issue. I mean, I'm not trying to hide the fact that there'll be noise, but the fact is that you must know: are you buying for own stay or are you buying for the tenant stay? Because for a lot of tenants, right, if they buy at a place, likely people are buying there. They want the convenience. They want to be near the sea. They want to live near the sea, and a lot of people are working from homes or they've got flexible time, so they want to have max convenience on top of these integrated developments.
That's correct.
So likely for these people, right, they are flexible. They might work from office or work from home, but if they work from office, they come back usually in the evening. So they will value this near MRT convenience, near shopping centers, near seas. So the noise under to them is not a big concern.
Yeah. In fact, the noise is kind of like a tax they are willing to pay for all this convenience, because we have to be really honest with you. If you're expecting no noise at all, I don't think that's possible, because with the MRT over there. But at least the noise will be bearable.
Yep.
It'll be bearable.
The key issue is that, are you buying for your own stay or for investment? For investment, sometimes a lot of things are actually you should not try to adhere to your own preference. That's
correct. Yeah.
Right?
That's answer. Yeah. Be emotionally detached. Right, Dennis.
Right.
You're buying for investment. Okay.
Question number 4. Any sea view units?
Any sea view units? That's an interesting question, Dennis, because when it comes to sea view, right, normally we think of east, those at the Bayshore area, like you mentioned, Mayor Road, Bayshore area. But Pasir Ris, most people do not associate sea view units with Pasir Ris.
I think for me, for those buyers who buy for own stay, and if you like sea view, go ahead. But from my personal advice, that you're buying for investment, sea view might not really matter that much, because they are likely to be more expensive than rare. And bear in mind that, because shall we go next slide?
Sure, let's do.
Because you notice, right, this is a site plan, and the left hand, the direction where you will see itself. Okay, for those who are thinking of who really like sea view, right, go ahead. But for buying investment, as I mentioned, sea views might not be that important. Why? Because if you look at the next slide, the dotted circle line is
where Pasir Ris is. Yes.
And in front, you'll see a sea. And if you notice that in front of Pasir Ris 8, there's this 2 piece of land in the beige color. It's subject to detailed planning. My guess is that given time, there'll be blocks coming up.
Sure.
Your sea views might be blocked. So it might not be there permanently. So this is just a word of caution. But no one knows. Maybe it could be lower or whatever. So, but this is a word of caution. Yeah.
That's correct. So to put it simply, what we're trying to say is that yes, there are possible sea view units available at Pasir Ris 8, but a word of caution: for the 2 pieces of land in front of them, we do not know what they may become in the future. So by knowing that something may come up.
But to be honest, you are really so near to the sea. You don't need to see the sea every day. That's my personal take. Because for those who have been to the Pasir Ris Park and the East Coast Park, to me it's different. Pasir Ris Park is more tranquil, more serene, and it's very quiet. Whereas East Coast Park is really a lot of people, a lot of activities, cycling, everything. It's very tranquil, so you're actually very near to the sea itself. So this might not be a key thing. But for those who really like sea view units, maybe give us a call. So we'll give you make sure that check for you that Jun can view the sea view.
We'll shortlist for you, We'll shortlist for you. We are after all more into the technical details after.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I hope that answers the question.
Right.
Are there any sea view units?
So for those who have any questions, you want to ask us, feel free to leave in the comments.
Sure.
We'll try our best to answer you. Right.
Sure.
Shall we move on to the next question?
Yes, please, Dennis. Yes.
Maintenance fee.
Okay. So maintenance fee, expensive or not? Well, to be honest with you, because we do not yet have the full amount of details from the developer yet regarding the maintenance fee, but we can take a reference or we can take a cue from another development. That would be Sengkang Grand, right, Dennis?
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Okay. So as what you can see over here, Sengkang Grand's maintenance fee starts from 280 all the way to $400 for the largest
Just
unit.
caution, this is not from Pasir Ris, just a reference from Sengkang Grand Residence. This is also integrated development.
That's correct, yes.
Sengkang Grand is actually on top of Buangkok MRT for those who are not familiar.
Yes.
So same thing, they have this bus stop, MRT, and shopping malls all integrated together.
Yes.
Yeah.
The reason why we chose Sengkang Grand because first of all, in terms of distance, they are pretty close. I won't say very close, but pretty close to Pasir Ris.
In the northeast or east area.
In the northeast or east area,
correct,
and also the fact that they share the same attributes in the sense that they're both integrated developments. So we can take this as a point of
For
reference.
those who are very concerned about maintenance fee, which is a very valid
Sure,
concern question,
of course.
come to a show flat, we will show you the details there. But at least clear the other parts. Who knows? Maybe you don't like Pasir Ris, then don't even need to ask about the maintenance fee. For those,
Sure.
come and take a look at a show flat. Give us a call. We have fixed appointment for you. And if you like the place, definitely will check out this maintenance fee for yourself.
Sure,
right? Okay?
sure.
So far there's no update, latest release from the developer. So we'll
Yes.
KIV that for you
Yes.
guys, right?
But if we do have, we'll let you know. Of course, just leave us your number and we'll get back to you on that.
Okay, for question 6, I also got buyers who asked, who actually it was David who gave me this feedback. So are the retail or residential car park separated? So these are the buyers or residents who really want the max convenience, yet they don't want the cars or car from the commercial side to catch out your normal.
That's correct.
yourself.
Yeah. I'm
You
sure.
want the best of both worlds.
Sure. I mean, if you're buying something over here, I'm sure you do not want a bottleneck at your car park entrance, right? Every
Of course,
time you
of
come back
course.
home, you know.
Of course.
So to answer this question, right, we first maybe have to look at the technical
Right.
site plan of the development.
Right.
So as you can see over here, this is the level 1 floor plan again for the vehicular ingress and egress. So on the left over here,
Okay, ingress is in, egress is out.
that's
right?
correct. That's correct. Yes.
A lot of technical terms.
Yes. So on the left of the screen over here, a circle in red, right, is actually the access for the commercial car park, which is also for the shopping mall as well. And on the top, highlighted in the red circle, that's for the residential car park actually.
Yeah. So actually, if you see, right, they are actually separated. So in simple terms, it means for the access to the residential car park, right, there's one entrance and leads you up to the third story, which is the level 3 is a car park for residents. And for the commercial is B1 and B2 itself. Yeah,
Sure.
separated. Even for the bus, do you mention the bus?
No, I have not mentioned about the bus
I
actually.
think even for the bus entrance, remember that there's a level 1 is the integrated bus interchange,
Sure.
likely to be aircon as well. So they are also at different areas itself. So basically put, it's actually on the three different areas so that to minimize the congestion. All this will be long thought of by the developer because it's
Yes.
for a place where you want all the things to be there, one-stop station for all the residents. You also have to think about the traffic.
Yes.
Yeah. So we have the bus interchange at level 1, and future this is going to be the Pasir Ris Cross Island line below as well.
Sure.
So literally, the MRT is your shuttle bus. You do not need any shuttle bus from here.
Yes, correct. You really do not need any shuttle bus actually. Everything is literally just right
The
downstairs.
MRT is your shuttle bus.
Yes.
So sometimes it depends. Also, Pasir Ris, in a way, it's really one of the more affordable entry price for a condo right now.
Yes,
Though
it-
it might be a bit to the east side itself, but it depends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our
Okay,
last
last question.
question then is mixed versus integrated development.
Right. So mixed versus integrated. I think I did some sharing just now. Maybe you want to share more? What is-
Sure. So first we have to understand what is a mixed development in the very first place. So a mixed development is something that has a more than one component other than residential, to put it very simply. So most mixed developments in Singapore comes with a commercial component and a residential one. The example of that is King Albert Park Residences. If you guys have been to the Bukit Timah area,
Right.
that's one good example of that. And I believe in the East Coast area, there's a lot of these mixed developments
Actually,
as well, right?
there are a lot of mixed development in Singapore, even for those boutique ones, small spice ones. But for integrated, because integrated, you got to have this transport component.
That's correct.
Yeah, so that's more rare.
Yeah, that's more rare.
Yeah.
So, talking about integrated development. So, what is an integrated development actually?
We show you
So-
next slide.
Yeah, we'll show in the next slide. Okay. So basically, integrated development has
This is actually an article from H Prop. So
has got a transit-oriented development, which basically means it must have a component that has a public transportation, either in the form of a bus interchange.
Let me show you the
MRT.
technical terms. Trying to be technical terms. Okay, if you look at the third line, it must have at least 2 different components that are integrated in terms of design. That means must have good design and part of a TOD, transit-oriented development. That means you have to bring in like the MRT on the bus itself.
Sure.
So it's simply put maximum convenience for you in terms of transport and the design itself. Yeah.
Yes. So, as what we have mentioned in the very first point, mixed-use developments are not necessarily integrated developments.
Okay. So this is another slide. It shows that actually in Singapore, there's about these integrated developments in Singapore are considered limited edition units because they're rare. So far, there's only 14 completed ID
in the whole of Singapore.
Yes. So some of them include, the first one is Campus Heights, TUP in 2002. Right, there's a Centuries and all the way down to the Park Place. So I think for most of us, we are more familiar with Campus Heights or Bedok Residence.
Yes, Bedok Residence.
Yeah. So one of the new one, I think Bedok Residence TOP in 2015. Yep, that was quite short. That's why for those who have been to Bedok, the MRT and the shopping mall are all integrated. So that gives also a lot of max convenience as well.
Yeah. Then in the city area, you have your Wallage residences and also your dual residences as well.
Just some number crunching, right? There's total about for those completed ID integrated developments, there's about 7,500 units about there. It's about total of 2.5% of total non-landed stock. Non-landed stock includes condo and apartments. So about 2.5%.
Very rare indeed. Very rare indeed.
So in Mandarin or Chinese, we call it 物以稀为贵. So in a way, yeah. So there'll be 4 more integrated developments. This Pasir is one of them.
Yes.
And it's going to be one of the crown jewel in the east side for the Pasir itself.
Definitely, for sure.
Because for our government, when we plan, right, they don't build ghost town, they don't build ghost MRT, they don't build just a ghost shopping mall for you.
Yes.
So when you put in a Pasir 8, some kind of integrated developments, there are going to be things going to be built around there. So it's going to be a central.
Everything has a purpose.
Yes. Yeah. So Pasir will undergo a revamp, renewal, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's come down to a bit of boring details. Yeah.
Okay, so before we get into that, Dennis, any questions for us from the live audience so far?
Any questions that you want us to answer? We just text us so that we'll do our best to answer you.
Sure.
For those who want the full brochures, floor plan, even if you want a one-to-one online or face-to-face discussion about this project, give us a call, text us or WhatsApp itself. Yeah.
Or maybe even like a sneak peek of VIP preview of the show flat. You can feel free to contact any of us.
Right. So we have this question from Anne.
Wow.
Asking why integrated development, very crowded feeling, may not be good for own stay.
Okay. This is a question that I get often actually for even other developments, because don't forget, it's not just Pasir Ris 8 that is the integrated development now. There's also your Sengkang Grand and your Ule residences. So very crowded feeling may not be good for own stay. Well, it really depends, because for people
this one I think I have a different perspective. I have my own perspective. Yes.
Okay.
No, right.
So if I'm a very time-starved person, okay, and I'm a person who is very noir or very lazy, I want everything within my fingertips, I want everything within reach, right? I would really appreciate all the attributes of an integrated development. Having said that, I do understand that this crowded feeling, right, only exists when you leave your house, right? But if you don't leave your house, if you're just within your development, and not forgetting, we only have 400 plus units only in your development, in your house, it doesn't feel very crowded at all. It only feels crowded every time you leave home. And every time you leave home and it feels crowded, this feeling doesn't just apply only to integrated development. It applies to a busy HDB town like Ang Mo Kio, for example, or even Bishan, for example. So I feel like I personally feel that this very crowded feeling is very subjective. Within the compound, I don't feel crowded.
Actually, I disagree with Mary on that. Because this is my perspective, different perspective. No wrong, right? Okay, if you ask me, it depends on what's your profile. Are you married with kids or are you a single? For me, for my case, I got 2 kids and they're still teenagers or below 12. So if you ask me for your opinion, if I am a father or I have a family with kids, I think that this might be a bit crowded for me, honestly. Because I want my kids to have a so-called a pure residential where they can run around freely. Although this Pasir Ris they're separated, but somehow maybe it's the stigma or the feeling that the first floor is always full of shopping malls. It might be a bit crowded. But so it depends on, maybe a family-oriented person might not like. Depends. For me, I might not like. But for those investors, who are buying for rental or to profit after 3 years, right? This is actually you have the max convenience and you have a lot of crowd there. So sometimes you must ask yourself, what do you actually want, right? So if you buy there because it's crowded, yet you have the crowded feeling. So you're right, because it's a integrated mall with shopping centers, so much retail space and MRT and bus stop. How can it not be crowded? Although it's separated, no matter what you do, you will have a lot of people. So you must ask yourself the objective. Are you buying for own stay? And if you buy for own stay, do you like quiet or big projects? So that's why sometimes it also boils back to the same question. Some people like big developments, some people like small developments. Don't talk about this mix or integrated developments, right? So if you buy big developments because you want those facilities, you want more swimming pool, you want a bigger gym, you want everything. But yet so you can't complain that, wow, so many people. For those people who like quiet, they likely will want to buy a boutique apartment, those like below 100 units, 20, 30 plus. Best is with those private lift, right? So this will be quiet. So what do you really want? But if you're buying for investment, then the quiet doesn't fit in because you're buying out to rent out. So question is, understand your objective.
Sure.
And to answer N, right, very crowded feeling may not be good for own stay. If that's truly how you feel, then likely because you don't like to stay in the big projects. Yeah, but if you're buying for own stay, maybe this is not for you. But you're buying for investment, your tenants will like, actually the Amors will like, wow, God, this is the basement, all the shopping centers are there. I just go down, take lift to MRT. Guys, can you imagine if you are living on top of MRT and bus interchange, you save 5, 10, 15 minutes from walking to that MRT for most people, because if you live just nearby MRT, say within 5 meters, you walk 10 to 15 minutes. Every day you save 5 to 10 minutes. A return trip, that will save you a lot of time in life. And now with this COVID, my personal take is that this stay home, work from home or home-based learning will be a fixed component or element in our timetable. So for people who have flexible working time, you can work from home and you're near to see, actually this is actually would be quite ideal. But you have someone who work in the central area and you have to travel to work every day, maybe only the MRT will meet date, but it might still be a bit far from you if you're leaving the east but going all the way central. So it depends on your profile and your objective yourself. Yeah. So hope that answers the question itself. Right?
To really understand this project, I feel that at the end of the day, you still need to head down to the show flat to at least have a look, and then to really understand the positive attributes, because what we really believe is that there's no perfect project. It all boils down to what's perfect for you.
Right.
And what's perfect for you is not perfect for the other guy.
Right.
So come on down to the show flat, have a better understanding, and let us share with you the positive attributes and maybe even the not so positive attributes.
Right.
Pasir Ris say. Okay.
So I think the appointments are actually quite fixed from what you say. The weekends are all packed already. But lucky now we have this virtual show flat as well. So for those who can't get a slot, give us a call. And for those who don't mind, who don't want the hassle of going down a show flat, actually you can do a one-to-one presentation for you online as well. So you can have the virtual show flat. It's the same, just that everything will be virtual.
Sure.
So now with COVID, we have to be more flexible as well.
So what are we looking at, Dennis? What is this floor plan that we have over here?
I think we're going to show you some of the selected show flats. Selected show flats that will be in the showroom itself. This is a 1-bedroom flexi.
Wow.
This will be a show flat unit. So what are the highlights for that?
Okay. So first of all, I just want to highlight the size first and foremost. 517 for a 1-bedroom is actually pretty sizable, because these days, I'm sure you guys know, 1-bedroom typically start from the 400 plus square feet range. Okay, so as you can see straight away, very squarish, no wastage of space over here, open concept kitchen, pretty much like most projects you see. But the key difference over here, Dennis, is between the living and the master bedroom is what we call a collapsible wall.
Okay, may I show you the picture?
Sure. Okay, so what does a collapsible wall mean? It basically means that you have the choice or option of always closing up the wall, therefore making your living room bigger. But of course, in this case, your master bedroom is exposed. Okay, so you do that sometimes because you want to maybe make your living room bigger because you have guests coming over, or maybe you just want to open up the space. You don't want to feel like everything is so closed up most of the time.
I think for those who have been to a lot of show flats, right? You will notice that for those floor plans or for those condos that are very near to MRT or literally right next to on top of MRT, right, the place tend to get smaller. Because in Chinese, it's called 寸土寸金. Because they are so near MRT, the land is very, very expensive. So tend to be small. As a guide, a lot of condos, new condos that are near MRT, is about 8 square meter.
Yes.
For a room.
Yes.
What does 8 square meter translate? 8 square meter means if you put in a super single, still okay. Cannot fit in queen size bed.
Very hard.
Yeah.
I think cannot.
So you look at those recent TOP condos, those near MRT or very near the MRT, literally the rooms are about 8 square meter. For this Pasir Ris, the size are bigger. I think it's fair because Pasir Ris is a bit further in terms of the line. The location for the line is actually quite all the way to the east side itself. So the developer actually give more space for this one study, and the walls are able to be collapse, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
So another thing to highlight is that if you look at the master bedroom, right, you can see that it's actually larger than usual for a master bedroom, especially. In fact, it's large enough to even put a multi-purpose dresser, which, according to the developer, is provided for every one bedroom flexi. That is a real bonus for investors, actually, Dennis.
Right. Okay. So this is the 2-bedroom. Might be a bit blurrish, but maybe I go straight to the. This might be a bit clear.
Sure,
this is
yeah.
a 2-bedroom.
Okay.
2-bed, 1 bath.
Yes, this is a 2-bed, 1 bath, 710 square feet. Okay. Again, similar to the 1-bedroom you saw earlier, open concept kitchen. Comes with a so-called swivel dining table as well. But here's the interesting part, Dennis. Typically for open concept kitchen, you will find the washing machine underneath the sinks or under one of the cabinets, right, in the kitchen. But this time, the developer has put the washer away from the kitchen.
Okay.
Therefore, the washer is actually facing the entrance for the master bath.
How does it help to have the washer face the toilet?
First of all, because this answers a very important question for people who don't like to do their laundry where they cook. Now that you do your laundry away from the area where you cook, right, there's a very clear distinction of space first and foremost. And also I like the fact that because there's this distance, right, there's this distance away, everything feels neater, more tidy as well, you know.
I think Manuel is going to a detail because from this discussion, you probably know that I don't do too much of washing at home. So same thing when I'm at show fair, I show the buyers the show fair, right? Most of the guys, gentlemen will just skip the kitchen and go straight to the master bedroom. Whereas the ladies will go check out the kitchen because they are the one who use kitchen. So now that I mentioned, when you wash, maybe you don't like the washer to face the kitchen because of the yuan or the
That's correct, yeah.
Rooms, yeah.
Not forgetting that most of the time the washers, or not most of the time, all the time the washer is always underneath. So you're always bending down to collect your clothes and put in your clothes. Then right above you is a stove.
Right.
It doesn't feel nice.
So this 2-bed, 1 bath, 710 square foot, right? So people ask, 2-bed, 1 bath. Okay, Dennis, what's the difference between 2-bed, 2 bath and 2-bed, 1 bath? How will you answer this question?
Well, to put it very simple, the difference is 1 more bathroom. Okay, but with the one additional bathroom comes, of course, price as well. Because with 1 more bathroom, your size increase, the quantum becomes bigger as well. So, for a developer's from a buyer's point of view, or should I say an investor's point of view, which one makes more sense? 2-bed, 1 bath or 2-bed, 2 bath? There's no right or wrong answer because both kind of units have their own pros and their cons. But I would say, for those with the budget constraint, or for those who want to enter this project at the lowest possible price, then 2-bed, 1 bath, of course.
So Manuel touch on the magic the sentence. It depends on budget. Guys, honestly, if your budget is okay, stretch a bit, try to go for the 2-bed, 2 bath. But if budget is constrained, go for 2-bed, 1 bath. Also, the next question is, are you buying for own stay or for investment? If my advice, if you're buying for own stay, and you have more than, say, for 2-bedroom, you have more than total 4 family members, father, mother, and the two kids. My advice is, if possible, budget's okay, stretch for the 2-bed, 2 bath.
Yes.
Because can you imagine in the morning when you go whenever rushing for school or for work, you're fighting for 1 bathroom. 4% fighting for 1 bathroom. 2%, okay. 3% can do. But 4%, usually kids they will be very kanchong when so it's very tough. But of course, at the end of the day, it boils down back to budget. Same thing, if you're buying for investment, I'm going to buy it out and rent to these expats or to a local single guys who haven't got married, then 2-bed, 1 bath is okay. Because 2-bed, 1 bath, right? In a bathroom, right, it costs about more than 100K. Because per square foot is about, say, 6,100. So easily the whole one toilet will cost you more than 100K. And so that will save you on 100K. And when you rent out to them, they know there's a 2-bed, 1 bath. You're not bluffing them. And this, when they rent to you, they also have budget constraint. So they do, okay, no problem, I'll cut short that. This, what happens at the end of the day, guys, if I were to sell you a new car and resale car at the same price, which one will you take? You'll likely take the new car.
Yes.
But it's only when it comes to budget difference. Oh, resale car is much cheaper. So no choice, I'll take resale car. So it's really dependent on budget. So in conclusion, if you buy for own stay with more than 4% and above, for 2-bedroom, try to go for a 2-bed, 2-bath if possible. For about rental, the expats likely don't mind because they like the newness. They like the new cabinets. They like the new facilities, everything new, and they like the convenience. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, one more thing that we have not highlighted, Dennis, is that for every unit here at Pasir Ris 8, right, at the outside of the house, it will come with a show cabinet with an umbrella holder. That is a very practical touch, actually.
Right. So these are actually the very intricate design, 人性化 lah. So very modern living for the people who put this. I mean, putting a small umbrella away. Yeah.
Yes.
So I've got this question from Augustine Tan. Who are the people I can rent to if I buy for investment?
Wow, I think that is a very relevant question because I think from the local perspective, right, people might be wondering, hey, Pasir Ris area got foreigners or not? Got people want to rent or not? Who are the profile? Well, you'll be happy to know that first of all, we'll start from schools first, okay? Because I believe schools is something that's a lot on a lot of people's mind. So what schools I'm talking about? I'm talking about the Overseas Family School, which is located not far from Pasir Ris 8, and also a little bit more towards the Punggol area. Okay, on the way to Punggol from Pasir Ris is the Global Indian School. There is actually a branch over there as well.
Right.
So these two schools alone will bring in the parents, okay, of the kids studying over there. Then other than these school-going kids, who else are going to rent from this area? Well, people who work in the aviation industry. Changi area. Also the prefab area, right? There was a water.
Yeah, we mentioned about the prefab that they will upgrade, go for renewal.
That's
so
correct.
There'll be more tenders from there as well.
That's correct, yes. And also, not forgetting the Changi Business Park is not far away actually. So what are the kind of industries in Changi Business Park? First and foremost, banking over there, logistics as well.
I would say a lot of expats and those things, double income, no kids, or those who are professional itself. Because at the end of the day, if I don't have kids, from my personal view, you let me live on this Pasir Ris 8, I mean this integrated development itself, you have max convenience. So I think I'll enjoy the convenience from there as well. But on the bigger scale, a lot of people actually for the past few months were asking me, hey, Dennis, if I buy condo now with all the expats being controlled, there's less foreigners coming in. Are we able to rent out? So if you look at the stats, right, even for on the grounds we are doing rental is very, very aggressive right now.
Yes.
A lot of people are renting a house
is very hot
without viewing. They view online itself. So that's actually quite crazy. Yes. Yeah. So but on the overall big picture, right, trust the government that they'll do their best. I'm not trying to support the government or whatever, because as a small country, we have to be open to foreigners.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to be open to foreigners so that more foreigners coming, then our economy will grow. So leave it to government. But if one day the government were to switch off the tap and control all the foreign talents who are coming in, then the whole Singapore will be in trouble.
Yes.
So if we remain an open society, there will be foreigners coming in.
Yes.
So whereas to this specific question, who will rent Pasir Ris 8? To me, those people who love the sea, they can work from home. Let's imagine, if I'm home based, I work from home. After a hard day's work, I go for a jog, or I go for the sea view in Pasir Ris. It's actually quite nice. Maybe 20, 30 years back, if you buy Pasir Ris, maybe it might, because you really love the sea so much that you're willing to sacrifice convenience. But now with these Pasir Ris 8 integrated developments and with the advance of all this Grab, Gojek, and this Tapao, you can Grab Panda or whatever, a lot of stuff can be done. So living any parts of Singapore actually has become a very, very, it will be very convenient with this online delivery itself. That's my take itself, right?
But to be frank with you, Dennis, if you're staying at Pasir Ris 8, you probably never have to call Grab again, man. Because everything is just right downstairs, you know.
All right, we have this question from Tang. Okay, so what type of unit, example, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, 2 bedroom premium, would you recommend for investment?
Maybe I'll answer the question first, Dennis. Okay. So, again, a very common question asked, especially for people who just enter a show flat or they're thinking of investment. Hi, by the way.
For those who came in late, you can maybe just watch the replay later on.
Sure. Okay, now, first of all, I would just like to understand what is the risk appetite for this buyer in this case, and what's their budget like. Because by assessing your risk appetite and your budget, I'll be able to properly recommend to you. Typically, for me, my personal take is that if budget allows, always go for the 2-bedroom premium. Why? Because when the PSF jumps by maybe like a 1% or 5% mark, right, you will make a higher profit compared to the 2-bed 1-bath or the person who bought the 1-bedroom. Because after all, why are you investing in the first place? You want to make a profit, right? So what's the surest way or the best way to make a profit? Buy the largest available unit, which is in this case a 2-bedroom premium. And also, typically for a 2-bedroom premium, the rent that you'll be able to command will definitely be higher than the 1 and the 2-bedroom. So my recommendation is buy as big as you can. Dennis, I
buy as big as you can.
Same thing also, right? I believe, yeah.
I think this is a fair question. So same as manual, but just to add on, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 2-bedroom premium. If budget is not a constraint, go for 2-bed premium. 2-bed premium is better than 2-bed 1-bath. 2-bed 1-bath is better than 1-bedroom. Why? It's just a base, a pyramid base itself. Just imagine if you are selling a HDB today, there's this antique control. Sometimes, for example, antique control. Sometimes it is how HDB unit can only sell to the Malay race or the Indian race. Once you cut out the Chinese race, which is the majority, then the buyers will be less. So you will command a less price because less buyers will lower offers. Same thing. For to me, right, 2-bedroom premium, the so-called the 2-bed 2-bath, right? We use a more common lingo. 2-bed premium is the bigger one, which is a 2-bed 2-bath. If 2-bed 2-bath is the budget is not a constraint for you, it's not an issue for you. This 2-bed 2-bath will attract all kinds of people. People who has small family, they have 2 kids, so there'll be 2 bathroom. They will like the area. So 2-bedroom, you can sell to investor, sell to small family. But at 1-bedroom, likely you can only sell to a investor in future.
Yes.
Or those singles. But somehow one day, if you get married or you have kids, the 1-bedroom might be too small. You buy 1-bedroom more because likely you have a budget constraint. Same thing, as I mentioned, if 2-bed 2-bath, which is a premium type, is a bit of the budget is a bit too heavy for you, then go for 2-bed 1-bath itself. So 2-bed 2-bath better than 2-bed 1-bath, 2-bed 1-bath better than 1-bed in terms of investment, and 1-bed is better than not buying. Because at the end of the day, you're not buying and renting, you're helping the landlord pay their mortgage itself.
Yes.
Yeah. This is my advice. Sometimes, right, for a lot of people who have budget constraint, but we're thinking, I don't want to buy a 1-bedroom. I die must buy a 2-bedroom. Nothing wrong with that. But how about put it this way? Is this going to be your last and final destination? That means, are you going to buy this condo?
Oh, I hope not.
That's all. Likely not. Because once, from my own experience, I came from a HDB background. But once you know, do your financial prudence, do your financial calculations, stretch but don't overstretch. Keyword is stretch but don't overstretch. Once you understand the joy and the money making profit from this buy condo itself, start from 1-bedroom, which might be less constraint. But after 3 years, you can sell and then make profit. Notice that for HDB, you buy already must have 5 years MOP that you can sell. But for condos, private residential condo, technically you can buy today and sell tomorrow. Of course, it doesn't make sense because you incur this 12% SSD, seller stamp duty. But technically you can. Which what I'm trying to say is give you a lot of freedom. So 1-bedroom is better than not buying. But of course, it depends on your financial. If you have any questions, just let us know. Sure. We'll do the financial calculation for you, so you know whether are you okay.
Yes.
I'm the very kind of direct agent. If your income does not sustain this private property, then answer is no. Because at the end of the day, it is going to be a long thing. When you buy a condo, right, it's not speculation. You buy already, assuming you're young, you can take 30 years loan. You have to be mentally prepared that, hey, I've got this mortgage. But once you can survive this mortgage, right, with capital appreciation and inflation, you'll reap this reward in future. So why can't you make this profit from this 1-bedroom? Say after 3 to 4 years TOP, you sell at a margin of minimum 5% per year. 4 years with 20%. You cash out, take the money, move on to a second property. Can be a condo, can be a residential HDB, can be BTO. Depends on what you like yourself. Yeah, right. So
I see that we may have other questions coming in, Dennis.
Yeah, we have other questions. So I think let me show this. Tang got this question. What are the facilities? This is a tennis court.
I do not think there's a tennis court actually.
Tennis court we can check, but sauna room is very interesting.
You must be a big fan of sauna. Huh?
I think for a lot of buyers a lot of condos have lots of sauna room, but I don't think many people use a sauna room. Usually become a dinosaur or whatever different itself. But that one we can check. Maybe when Tang, you don't mind, you can just WhatsApp us at the down below. And we'll check and then get back to you. Sure. All right. Then we have this question from Jimmy Tong. Pasir Ris 8 or Nomentum Park for 2 bed 1 bath. Okay.
That's
very
Jimmy.
Good
thanks
Jimmy,
for the question, Jimmy.
Right.
Okay. So Jimmy, it really depends actually for your 2 bed 1 bath, because if Pasir Ris 8 PSF really comes up to 1,006 to 1,007, it's actually quite competitive with Nomentum Park. I would say it's actually about the same actually. Then it boils down to which one you believe is a better living environment for a tenant.
These actually are 2 questions. Pasir Ris 8 versus Nomentum Park. 2 bed or 1 bath? Correct.
No, 2 bed 1 bath 就是 2 bedroom that it has only 1 bathroom.
I know, but means talking about these two projects. Choose one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that means between these 2 projects, better for 2 bed 1 bath.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So it all comes down to which project you believe has a better living environment first and foremost. Because when you ask this question, Jimmy, I believe you are referring it for tenant, right? Yeah, that's why you said 2 bed 1 bath. So I think from a tenant's perspective, nothing beats convenience and amenities and also accessibility. So if you have been to Nomentum Park, I'm sure you know a little bit about Nomentum Park, Jimmy. Nearby, not exactly a lot of amenities. Nearby, no MRT as well. You probably need a shuttle bus to get around, and I do not think an MRT will come there anytime soon, or probably will never. So Nomentum Park's appeal is the fact that it is closer to the city. Actually, it's closer to the city, it's closer to the science park, it's closer to the pool of tenants. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the tenants may want to choose there to live over there, because they may be put off by the fact that it's a mega development. After all, it is 1,800 over units, So my observation from dealing with tenants is that they prefer convenience and amenities. And between both of them, I think Pasir Ris 8 stands up in terms of convenience and amenities for the 2 bed 1 bath. And since all things are equal, being the price, I believe Pasir Ris 8, in my humble opinion, is the better choice for the 2 bed 1 bath. What do you think, Dennis?
Okay, I have slightly different views from Manuel. Okay, here a lot of times, right, it depends on objective. You must ask yourself this question: what is the objective? For my take is that, right, if you're thinking for renter, my take is that if you want to rent out, maybe when TOP, Nomentum Park might be easier to rent out. But of course, there are people who are concerned, 1,800 plus units, can rent out not? Somehow there will be a big project attract more tenant as well. But plus for Nomentum Park, right, it's nearer to the NUS Science Park.
Yes.
All these are ready
tenant
units.
Yes.
And you also got the One North, which is nearby. Although One North will also have a bigger development itself. So in a way, you compare, right, tenant pool, if you say which is better to rent out faster, I think Nomentum Park might be better.
Yes, I agree.
My take. Because the all already there already. But in terms of convenience and shopping, Pasir Ris is much better. So renter, Nomentum Park is better. But when it comes to say, hey, I want to buy and sell 3 years later, my bet is that Pasir Ris 8 will have a better capital position, because you are sitting on top of the maximum convenience. You got polyclinics there, everything is there. That means you TOP at the same time. So for someone who wants more, who's more into capital appreciation, or rather who wants to buy and sell 3 to 4 years later, my take is that maybe Pasir Ris 8 is better. Because everything is there. But Nomentum Park also has a lot of growth story.
Yes, it's appeal. But
you need to wait a longer period, because Nomentum Park can only control their land, their TOP. They got 8 shops there, remember. But these 8 shops is far less than this Pasir Ris.
Definitely far less.
But nearby Nomentum Park, they have a lot of developments as well, especially the One North expansion. If you have a longer holding perspective, longer period, my person takes say more than 5 years, 5 to 10 years. When you see the nearby developments build up, then Nomentum Park will see a much better capital position. So 2 things: rental, you want higher rental, or you want better capital position. Both are new launch, but to me, I feel that buy from new launch from day one price, especially you enjoy a little bit discount, so that will put you in a very good state. Yeah, so day one price is cheapest, and new launch before, because they are not built yet. I always like to use the example. If today you go to Lazada, you go to Shopee, you find 2 things very similar. But why are the price difference so big? Because you notice clearly, same item, but one will say ship from China, one ship from local. Usually the local one will be more expensive because you get it within 1 to 3 days. For the ship from China one, you will need to wait for 3 weeks as a guide. Same thing, if you're buying a new launch today, you got to wait for 3 to 4 years. Not everyone is lucky enough to can buy a new launch. It's not just about money. Because if today I get married with my wife, I cannot afford to buy a new launch, meaning that because I need a house to stay. I want to create a family. So I cannot wait. So for those people who can wait, you're a lucky one. We are putting aside the money the issue, right? So for those people who can wait, you have a house to stay, you're not in urgent need of a house, you're staying with a family, or you have your own place to stay, then you can wait for 3 years. And this, you can't pay for a price. You paid for the condo, but yet you don't stay. So after 3 years, you sell this product, this condo to the next buyer who don't need to wait. So that's why new launch will have a better capital appreciation, and you can pay by progressive payment. This is the magic of the whole thing. For those people who want to know about how this progressive payment work, how does this whole plan works, we have a lot of files and data, but give us a text, WhatsApp us, we give to one-to-one presentation
Sure.
to explain to you how it works, right? I hope that answered your question. I think we have this question from Kelvin. He said, sorry, I missed the early answer. What's the estimate on price PSF?
Okay, Kelvin. So as we have mentioned earlier, it's around the 1,006 to 1,007 range, and how we derive that figure is based on the land cost for the residential component. We add in the marketing, construction, legal, everything, about another 800 PSF. So there you get about 1,006 to 1,007.
There's no official price yet, but from based on our estimate, it's about 1,600 to 1,700.
That's correct.
Range.
Yes, correct.
So can you imagine even Pasir Ris is going to that price? Guys, trust me, do your homework and check around.
Yeah.
This price is considered high for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it's really the entry price. Bear in mind, as I mentioned earlier, EC price also coming 1,000, 1,200 per square foot. Can you imagine if today Xiaomi phone is selling for say $1, can an iPhone sell for 1.1? Not possible, because iPhone has a higher premium than Xiaomi, for example. So same thing, if Pasir Ris is coming this price as whole, we are pushing pushing the prices to the next level. Potong Pasir, the city fringe are going for 2,000 plus, right? For those people who are buying the central, Orchard Road is a guide 3,000 plus per square foot. So everything is being pushed up because of the inflation. Even for now, because a lot of people are buying houses because the interest rate is very, very low. I just went with my wife to the bank recently and checked on the interest rate for the fixed deposit. Wow, it was very pathetic. Below 1%.
Oh, no.
That's why a lot of people are trying to use the spare cash to do investment. So if you put money into the bank, the interest rate might not be better. You have to put in some investment, be it house, be it a stock market. It depends on what you are familiar with yourself. Right?
So I hope that answered your questions, Kelvin.
Okay, Tang has another question. What are the factors a buyer should consider in choosing a unit at Pasir Ris?
Okay, I have a very good answer to this question.
Oh, okay.
The factor is that whether you have the money or not. No, I'm serious. I'm not trying to be funny over here, because we don't have a lot of units in the first place. Only 400 plus over units. And I'm very confident that the smaller units, like the 1 and the 2, they will likely be gone on the opening day. You know? So it's not really so much about a factor thing. It's more about whether can you afford it and can you get something over here. But if you're talking about factors, I think if you can just, because as you can see, I'm not sure if you guys remember the site plan, most of the units here, or I would say 90% of the units here, do not have a view. So it doesn't mean that, you buy a unit with a view, you buy a unit without view, there's a very big difference. No, there's actually no difference. Most units here do not have a view. Most units are facing each other, because the way that the blocks are placed is quite close to each other actually. So there isn't really much to differentiate one unit between the other actually. So because of that, everyone is more or less on the same level playing field, except maybe the price will jump with every floor increase. Level 9 will definitely be cheaper than level 10, right? In this case. So it's all about budget. That is the biggest factor, I feel.
I think let me assume a few questions from Tang about this question. So, okay, let's imagine for buyers considering Pasir Ris 8, because Pasir Ris is considered a very OCR.
Yes.
Very so-called the
heartland area.
Okay, mass market condo. Okay, mass market condo. So mass market condo, right? Maybe most people will say, hey, between buying Pasir Ris 8, I might have the money to buy a resale condo. Because if you are choosing a new launch, there are not very many choices for you to choose from for a 2-bedroom. In the market right now, in the whole Singapore, those new launch that is not completed yet, you try to find a very affordable 2-bedroom is very tough. So Pasir Ris is one of the cheapest one. It's a mass market because it's Pasir Ris 8. Some people will complain, those people who are not familiar with Pasir Ris say, wow, Pasir Ris is very ulu. I'm not denying the fact that it's really far away. But if you want this Pasir Ris 8, let's imagine I can move Pasir Ris 8 to Central, then the price will be 3,000 per square foot. So this is one of the more affordable already. So likely your choice will be between a new launch at Pasir Ris 8, 1,500, 1,600, 1,700 per square foot. Then you might buy a resale. But you must ask yourself back this question: are you buying for own stay or for investment? If you are buying for own stay, maybe a resale makes sense because resale tends to be cheaper and bigger, right? But for new launch, the capital appreciation will be higher, especially for the first 3 years. I'd like to use this example. For example, let's say today, Tank, Manuel, and myself, 3 of us, buy Pasir Ris 8, for example, at $1, just for simplicity, $1. So after TOP, Tank go and sell to the next resale buyer, because after TOP become resale buyer, so some guys buy from Tank at 1.3, right? So then when Tank buyer can buy at 1.3, he also hope to make a profit. That means he's buying a resale. But bear in mind, when Tank buy at 1.3, Dennis's and Manual price are set at $1. So just for this Pasir Ris 8, there's 400 plus units. There's been 400 plus people who bought at $1 and we bought 1.3. Nothing wrong with that. But the fact is that if this Tank's buyer want to make profit from 1.3 and hope to sell at 1.5, 1.6, or even 1.8 in future, your price will also be curtailed by the day one buyer at $1 itself. So if one day you bought Tank's buyer bought at 1.3, if Dennis go into financial distress, I need to offload my condo. If the market price is about 1.5, I say never mind lah, I want to move on already. I sell at 1.25 because I just want to move on. But at 1.25, I still make money, right? So that's how it works. But you bought at 1.3. So somehow resale will, in terms of it's more for own stay. That's my personal thing. So yeah.
So I just want to touch on this question again. So a little bit like what Dennis had mentioned, when choosing to considering a unit at Pasir Ris 8, it boils down to, is it for your own use or is it for investment?
Right.
For investment, my recommendation is always as big as you can. Okay, either as big as you can or as low as you can.
Right.
As low as you can, meaning to say the entry price as low as you can. Then for own use is very, very subjective because you may have a lot of factors that's out of our control. For example, some people die only one west facing.
Right.
Some people die only one east facing. Some people have a lucky number, so they want to avoid level 8, level 9, something like that. Some people like level 4, even. So there's so much factors to consider when it's.
So what Manu is trying to say, for personal preference, you like number 4, you like the west side.
Yes.
Whatever, it's personal preference, nothing wrong. But what we are trying to share is more of the economic point of view. Like, for example, if 4, some people don't mind 4, I don't mind 4. Some people mind. But if buying for investment and 4 is a taboo for you, then try to avoid 4. It's a personal preference because your next buyer might be against number 4. No wrong or right. So, but if you want all the factors to be perfect, like no number 4, no west sun, can see sea view, high, everything, then price will be very high. So it boils down back to the affordability itself, right? I think that was about 13 itself. Shall we move on itself?
Sure.
Would that answer your question? Yeah.
Sure. No more questions, right, Dennis? Any more questions?
We move on to the next show flat.
Yes, please. Okay.
Sure. This is a 3-bedroom guest.
Yes. So this, according to the developer, this is actually the last of the show units available at Pasir Ris 8. So as you can see over here, now the most striking feature about this particular layout is the living and dining area. It is what we call the horizontal layout. Okay, horizontal meaning to say that the living and dining is beside each other rather than being stacked on top of each other. Okay. Furthermore, it comes with a yard and is linked up to the guest room. Okay. Perfect for those people who have planned to have a living helper. And for the 2 common bedrooms, I believe that these 2 common bedrooms are even larger than 9 square meters. Because 9 square meters.
I see the living room is quite wide.
Yeah,
you can put
it's very wide.
Living and dining tables side by side.
Yeah.
So.
I don't have the exact measurements, but I'm looking at this. I'm guessing this is about the 5 meter range, which is considered very wide for new launch standards.
And the cabinets looks a lot, can put a lot of bags and accessories.
Oh yes, man. And also for the master bedroom is larger than usual. You can see that there's a glass. I'm not sure if you guys can see a glass panel on the left hand side over there, right beside the the headboard of the master bedroom, indicating that you can put a dresser table if you like, or a massage chair if you choose to do so. And interestingly enough, the wardrobe for the master bedroom is a walk-in wardrobe. Very rare for a 3-bedroom actually. Yeah.
I like the way Manu described this. I can't do the detailed description about this show flat stuff. I like to go to numbers.
Well, I mean, this is what we all do for living. We all have our own specialty, right? Yeah.
Right. Okay. So this also from developer, 8 unique starting points. So
yeah, just to give you all a recap and an overall summary of what we have discussed for Pasir Ris 8. So maybe I'll do the first floor first, Dennis. Okay. So rarity, first and only integrated development in the heart of Pasir Ris. Connectivity in the sense of the transport hub that will come as part of the development. Easy access to Changi Airport, very easy access to Changi Airport. Pasir Ris Park and Beach, which will add a little bit of a balance to work-life balance over there. And local and overseas schools. One of them I have discussed was the Overseas Family School and also the Japanese school, not forgetting the Temasek Poly. Okay. And for the next four,
I think this is they're just trying to make up to number 8. This is not Pasir Ris 8.
Yes.
5 is Pasir Ris Mall, so this is an integrated development. I think the rest I'll just skip. 6 exciting facilities which they do have, spacious living and flexi space and smart home provision. But I think for 6, 7, 8 is part of the whole. I shall not go into details.
Yes.
We have another questions from Melvin, so I think it's that was the time a bit late. So maybe we'll just accept a few more questions. So this is the one for Melvin. What's the price range for 3-bedroom?
Okay. So Melvin, as of this moment, we do not yet have an official indication from the developer, so I'm unable to give you a starting price. But we have estimated that the PSF should be about 1,006 to 1,007.
Generally speaking, for the price range should be between 1,000 per square foot. This is an indicative guide. So for the bigger bedrooms, the PSF will go lower.
Yes.
So that means you're more towards the lower side. So for the 1-bedroom, this is small, so the PSF will go to the higher side. Also depends on floor level. So I think it's between 1,600, 1,700. So be more on the lower end spectrum. Yeah. Anyway, the developers will only announce the price nearer to the benefit itself.
Correct.
So what happened was that on the 10th of July, it will be a show flat preview. So from 10 all the way to the 21st.
Yes.
Right. For
this, you can see from the ticker tape.
Yeah. Preview. So buyers come down, take a look at show flat. If you like, then you throw in a ballot ticket. For a check, you get a bad number. I call it lucky draw number. So when I lucky draw number, you will be based on the ballot ticket itself. You get a number. So if you are caught in early, you're lucky. You can choose all the different levels. You are the first to choose. Among the first to choose. Then they'll tell you the price. How much is it? And you all right. Then you proceed. If the price is not suitable for you, you just let go. There'll be no penalties. There's no nothing like that.
There's absolutely no cost for you at all. The only thing that maybe you pay is the parking when you come down to drive down the park in the show flat. But other than that, there's no penalty to you, no cost at all to you at all.
I think Melvin just sent in another comment. Seems like it's about 2 million so far for the 3-bedroom.
If you are I believe Melvin is basing it on the larger of the 3-bedroom, which is the 1,003 square feet, right? Yeah. If you are calculating based on that 3-bedroom, yes, I think fair enough to say about 2 million.
I think normally for investment, no wrong or right. I think that if you're buying for investment, most people go for a 2-bedroom. As I always like to say, 2-bedroom is 进可攻退可守. Because if you buy for 2-bedroom, you can rent to 2 friends or small family. 3-bedroom, likely you're renting out to bigger families who need a bigger space. I wouldn't advocate trying to rent a 3-bedroom to 3 singles who come together to co-share, especially if they're strangers. That means they're not together as a group, because that will really bring down the quality of furnishings and bring down itself. Yeah. So 3-bedroom likely is for families who like the east side. They like the sea views. Because I have investors or buyers who really like the Pasir Ris, tranquil, serene. Honestly, in Singapore, right, we are having a hard life, trying a very fast-paced life in every day. So after a hard day work, we like to retreat back to a enclave. This Pasir Ris Beach enclave where there's a lot of things are much more slower. Trust me, I like to do jogging a lot. So if you jog along the Pasir Ris Beach, right, the feeling is very different. Not many people, very tranquil. You just have a very refreshing peace of mind itself. Unlike the East Coast Park, which just give you a different feel itself. Yep. So hope that answered your question, Melvin.
Yes.
So all right. So if there's no questions, we've come to the end of the presentation.
Yes. Thank you very much for those people who have tuned
Thanks
in to
for
our live
supporting
show.
our first show. I always remember tonight because it's our first time doing a live. We'll
Yes.
do our best to present more videos as well.
Sure.
It's up to date right now. A lot of the weekend slots for this Pasir Ris has been fully booked, and I think a lot of buyers will have problem trying to find an appointment.
Yes.
So for those who don't mind, we can do a one-to-one presentation online with you guys to show you all the show flats. We have the virtual show flats floor plan, and if you have any questions, just ask us. We'll do a one-to-one numbers calculation based on
Sure.
We'll tell you is it suitable for you or not. This is our true advice itself.
Yes, and if you would like to make an appointment to view the show flat on a weekday, there are still some available slots. So hurry up and let us know.
Weekday, a lot of evening time also had been put on waiting list.
Yes.
But never mind, leave it to us. WhatsApp.
We'll figure out something for you.
Yep.
Okay.
Then for those who are still around, do give us a like, subscribe to our channel so that support us. We'll do our best to do more video for you guys.
Yes. And we hope to see you in person one day. Hopefully to see all of you in person one day.
Tang does give a very kind comment. You guys did a good job. Excellent advice. Thanks, Tang.
Thanks, Tang.
We appreciate your kind words.
Thank you.
We are full-time agents trying to be YouTuber, but at the rate we are doing the videos, right, it's very strong. We might become full-time YouTuber and part-time agent very soon.
I hope not. I love my job. I love being an agent.
So, today I just received a text from also a YouTube viewer. I was quite surprised. I think Krista, I'm not sure whether Krista is still around. Krista mentioned that a lot of auntie friends watch our video. So he asked us to continue to do a good job. Okay. Yeah, we'll do a good job. So I hope to get your support. Please like, subscribe, share our videos to our friends, right? Right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Melvin. Thank you, Tang, Calvin Kerr, GB Tong, Augustine Tan, Anthony, and JJ, El Lim, Wei Huang, Daniel Wong, a lot of friends. Thanks for support.
Thank you so much.
See you next time, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.